What's up, you guys? Welcome to Critique the Critics, the show where we make fun of movie critics, and today we are looking at Long Shot. We're looking at Roger Moore's review. We're gonna pick apart line by line and just beat the living crap out of it because critics don't know what they're doing. That's why. Also, it's really funny to make fun of them. Also why. But before we get started, if it's your first time here, make sure you hit that subscribe button and the little bell right next to it. Also, we do record these live on Twitch, and you can find a link to our Twitch channel in the description. Now let's get started. This week's version of She's Out of Your League, a rom-com concept Hollywood, well, male Hollywood, never tires of stars Charlize. This has a horrible opening sentence. I hate all of that. Wow, that's the worst sentence to start with. No one went like, hey, this opening sentence is a little confusing. Maybe don't lead with that. It's like having a blind date in Oregon and her just being like, I'm showing up in a Prius. Everyone's showing up in a Prius. Give me more. All right, I'm showing up on a bicycle. Everyone's showing, it's Portland. It's a Prius or bicycle or a fucking bus or tram. There's no, they don't even sell other cars there. Maybe they do. Either way, your opening's confusing. Stars Charlize Theron as the accomplished, runway-ready object of desire, and Seth Rogen as the dumpy beardo who totally has a chance. That's kind of f***ed up because part of the point is that she's not just looks. And you just made her just looks. She's literally trying to become the president by being sexy and having a whole ton of accomplishments and a platform that's pretty good and having worked her entire life toward that goal. But also she's hot. Long Shot, it's called, for obvious reasons. As coarse and clean as a porn star's loofah, witty as coarse and clean as a porn star's loofah. Moving on. Witty as a haiku on a bathroom stall. A lot of like things that live in a bathroom analogies going on here. And as politically deep as a bumper sticker on a car in a toilet. I'm just trying to stick with your theme. I know it didn't make sense. It's a stumble-footed 2-hour-plus comedy about a shrill, unemployed journalist winning the heart of his old babysitter as her speechwriter as she runs for president. Essentially, if you say, this is the plot, but before it, you're like, you say something insulting, like you can make anything sound bad. Literally anything. Like this, you know, Philadelphia is just the stumbly, poorly written story about a man dealing with AIDS. Doesn't it sound like a bad movie now? Or I could just go, it's about a man dealing with AIDS. Doesn't sound quite as bad now, does it? It's slow, the jokes and gags that deliver are mainly about drugs, flatulence, masturbation, and boys to men. Be honest. Generally, when I'm listening to Boys to Men, I'm drugged up, jerking off, and farting. Isn't that literally what Cooley High Harmony means? The political humor is a punch-pulling riff on America today, and everybody comes off as trying too hard. Really, I actually found this to be pretty relaxed. Also, no one can come off as trying too hard unless they're doing the wrong drugs. And if you are trying too hard, you're taking Hims, the mail-order erectile dysfunction pill. Not sponsored, but would be for under 4 hours. Otherwise, I'm calling the doctor. Too harsh? Like the weed? Are we still on the drug thing? One of Rogen's go-to moves as a funny man is bugging his eyes out and delivering a line, punchline, or zinger at a bellow. I also feel like it might just be him. Is it a move if it's you? I'm assuming there's a lot of comedians that you can't watch based on their bugging out of eyes and bellowing. Like Ray Romano. That Kramer dude. You were hating him before the bad word thing. Chris Rock for sure. Theron? Theron? Oscar winner she may be, but her comic chops seem limited to too beautiful to bother with you and knows it. See young adult and no, she wasn't that funny in that either. She's got Mean Girl written all over her. Wow, you are literally shaming this woman for being pretty. It's actually part of this film that she has to like overcome the fact that she's pretty and people underestimate her. And you're one of the assholes doing that in your movie review. How an alleged journalist missed making the connection when Charlotte Field was first appointed, we can only ponder. I mean, it's generally not what he was writing about. That's pretty simple. Literally, when she's going through the articles that he's written, none of them are like, I wonder who the Secretary of State is. Also, it's not really just making that connection necessarily, like, they end up in the same room. He didn't think that was gonna happen. I also don't feel like I have to explain this situation that happened in a rom-com. Like, that's just stupid. You should just be happy that no one ran to the fucking airport at the end. They connect, and even though he's dressed like a 38-year-old unkempt hipster and comes off as a tad angry angry and entirely too profane to be articulate, she's intrigued. Because no one can like that. There are so many different kinds of people in the world. You ever see like just a piece of crap asshole person?
Yes.
Very often that guy has a girlfriend, or that girl has a boyfriend, or that girl has a girl. Do I have to say all the different combinations to be okay on? No, I don't care who f***s who or who identifies as what. We're all whatever.
Furries.
Equality. I don't know. He's a connection to the passion for political causes, the environment, etc. she had before she started selling out to appease her ex-TV star president, Bob Odenkirk. Amusing. Man, amusing is a nice word, and that did not sound like a compliment. It sounded like everyone and everything about this movie sucks, but he like sucks less. It's like, I'll deal with you. And Fred's funny if off color. Wait, so Fred is funny and off color, but all he does is bug his eyes out and bellow like an idiot, and the writing isn't that good, and all the jokes are just about masturbation and farting and drugs. He'll be perfect to punch up her speeches and give her a sense of humor. Yeah, that's the point. I can't tell if you're quoting the movie. That actually sounds like it might be a quote from the movie. The script by Liz Hannah and Dan Sterling doesn't give the leads a believable and funny arc, or the supporting players much that's funny to play. The political jokes about the press baron who believes that hurricanes are caused by gay marriage, the Fox and Friends type show, so sexist it's supposed to be more over the top and funny than the real thing, fall flat. It's annoying to me because it's like, I didn't like these jokes. To me, that's not really a good review. That's like going, for me those things didn't work, but they might for other people. Similar to all the other humor I've been insulting from this movie. Maybe I just am not the right demographic or person to watch this movie. That's probably the truth. The introduction of the perils of being a female candidate, double standards, etc., covers no new ground and is rarely brought up in a funny way. Probably because there isn't new ground, because the shit hasn't been fixed yet. Like, they just keep saying the thing about how it's hard for women to get past this barrier and glass ceiling and all that. Yeah, because that's still going on. If the thing doesn't get fixed, you don't have to touch on something new. You keep touching on the thing that's not fixed yet. Then when it's fixed, you go, okay, maybe some new material about the whole like women equality thing. I can't believe they're still showing racism. It's over, right? No. Sexism too, right? No. Wrong. This seems instantly dated in 2019. Would it have worked with a male candidate and frumpy female speechwriter who used to babysit for him? No. That's the point. Completely. Because it doesn't matter that the candidate is male. He doesn't need to spin all his shit in the way that a female does, especially an attractive one. It's a big portion of what this thing is talking about. And no, I am all for when you don't need something to be said. If a character doesn't need to be a woman or of a certain ethnicity or height or shape or whatever because it has nothing to do with the story and the character, it's not important, that's fine. But when it like literally is a major portion of who the people are and how the plot unfolds, then yes, it's important. And no, you can't just flip it the other way and make it the same. You can't. That's like that fucking double down that they made at KFC where they put the chicken as the bread. No, it's not the same thing. If you make me a chicken sandwich and then you make me that, it's not the same. The diabetes is the same. I clench my chest and left arm the same, but it's not the same. Nah, Rebel Wilson's got as much work as she can handle. Wow, you're a dick. Wow. Now that I insulted the pretty lady, let's insult the one that I think is overweight and not pretty, because I'm a dick. Wow. Thank you guys so much for watching. We'd love to know what you thought of Roger Moore's review of Long Shot. If you're planning on seeing the movie or if you've seen it already, and what you thought of that movie as well. If it's your first time here, make sure you hit the subscribe button and the little bell right next to it. Also, as I said at the beginning of the video, we do record these videos live on Twitch. There's a link to our Twitch down in the description, so make sure you check that out as well. You can click or tap one of the videos on the screen to see more from us right now, and until we see you next time, geek out and game on.